Yet another officer-involved shooting of an unarmed African-American man is caught on video.
Police officer suspended after video surfaced online showing him repeatedly punching a man on the street.
A surveillance camera captured a deadly confrontation between police and a 12-year-old boy carrying what turned out to be a fake toy gun.
I grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts.
Brockton, is that by Boston?
Yeah, it's like 25 minutes away or so.
I feel like my only point of reference for Massachusetts is Boston
Yeah.
or not Boston.
I liked growing up there. I learned a lot. It made me who I am today, but I was happy to get out of there.
Yeah,
like I knew there was going to be an end date at some point.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm actually from Fort Smith, Arkansas, which
Okay.
is a small town right on the Oklahoma border. I actually have a very similar experience to you in that it's a lovely place, but I always knew that I would end up elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the expiration date's a good way of putting
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's like I love going back to visit.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah. So like growing up, did you have any particular view or feeling about like cops or law enforcement in general?
I definitely didn't think that they were there for our protection. I feel like most interactions that you had with them, it was always negative. We had this one cop in particular. He would always be stationed at the bus terminal, and he would just be staring at us. And once you look at him, he would ask, "What the f are you looking at?" And I feel like he was old, and we were like 14 at the time. So that was like the majority like experience that I had with him. There were a couple we had that were, they were nice. We had this program called GREAT. It was Gang Resistance Education and Training. And the cop who used to run that, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, it was so long ago, but he was legit. Like I liked him. He would always like check up on us, make sure we're doing everything right, and just you felt like he actually cared about you.
I feel like my perception of law enforcement growing up was kind of that I didn't have much of one because I didn't really feel any sort of like fear or have really much interaction with cops. I think as a kid, there's like a little bit of inherent like fear, I guess, for lack of a better word. Just because it's more of like almost a reverence thing. Not that like I think they're super cool, but just because they seem like so important and like they have guns and stuff.
Yeah.
I would see cops and stuff on TV. I didn't have like the situation you had where like directly in my life there was a cop who was routinely an asshole to me and my friends, which I think would have made a big difference. I guess for me, like I would have trepidation or nervousness around cops just because like it immediately, like if there's a cop there, it's like, ooh, this is legit, like something's going down. But like if I'm driving by, or if we were like driving by somewhere and there's like cops pulled over or something, it's more of just like, ooh, what's going on? Like a curiosity as opposed to any sort of like real fear or like danger.
I just remember also for me, just growing up, like when I was getting ready to start driving, my dad used to always tell us like, make sure you don't go through small towns if you ain't 100% legit. He used to tell us, you can't ride with a hat on, you can't ride with a hood on because you're just gonna be sticking out like a sore thumb. And then end up learning the hard way at one point when I was about 16. Driving through some small town in Massachusetts, my brother picked me up from work and he was like, I'll just take the streets to get home. We get pulled over, we had a headlight out. And the police officer comes up to the window and I had my head down like this. And he asked me, are you praying to Allah or something? And I was like, what? No. I was like, what the hell? And he was like, what are you guys doing over here? And we're just driving home from work, blah, blah, blah. He goes to his car, comes back, says he smells weed in the car. Pulls us out of the car, searches the whole car. My brother had a beer in the back, in his trunk or whatever. It was unopened, but he was 18, I think, at the time. So they arrested him for something, and it was something so stupid. He got arrested, had to call my dad to come bail him out. And just the whole time they were just dicks to us, like treated us like we were nothing.
Like I've been pulled over a fair amount when I was younger, when I was young and foolish. Like I've had taillights out, headlights out. I used to be really bad about having expired tags.
Oh,
I was like,
man,
because I'm lazy. And like the times I've been pulled over, like, especially when I was younger, like, I was nervous as hell, but it was solely because, like, my mom's gonna be so pissed.
Yeah.
Like, that's the extent of the danger to me,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like, I've been pulled over for, you know, like, headlights, taillights, tags, whatever, speeding. I've never once been asked to step out of the vehicle. I've never once had my vehicle searched.
Yeah.
One time when I was in college maybe, or like my late teens, I was like driving to my mom's place, and I got pulled over for like, I think I was just going too far. I got pulled over for speeding, and we like pulled over into a parking lot, and I like didn't have my current, like I had my license, but I didn't have my current insurance card, and so I was like freaking out. But the cops in that case, and they were both like white, were like, I was like, can I like call my mom and have her bring it to me? And they were like, oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh wow, yeah.
And the cop sat there and waited with me, and like before she even gets there, they come back and they're like, you're fine,
Don't
go
worry
ahead.
about it, yeah.
And so like even that wasn't necessary. They just like let me go with a warning. I have gotten a couple tickets, but like in that case they were like, no, like you can go.
We live in different worlds, you know, and unfortunately, because I've been moving to LA. I remember moving, when I came to LA in 2010, I was like, oh, LA, you know, big city, super diverse, I won't have no problems. Yeah. This is literally the first time I'm like living out here where I would just get pulled over just for the police to ask me, are you on probation or parole? Have you ever been arrested? What are you doing here? Where are you going? And ask you over and over and over again. And there was one situation, probably I was living out here 3 months, and I was out in the city of Norwalk, and I had just started a new job, which was like out by that way. Somebody gave me a ride to the train station. It was late because I worked nights. And I was like, okay, I'm waiting on trains. There's a gas station right there. I'll walk over to the gas station, get something to drink. The sheriff's deputy, they drive past me. They did a U-turn, they came back, and luckily I had saw them coming back, so I kind of prepared myself. They hopped out their car, they had their guns drawn. I had this I worked at a warehouse, so we had like these like sticks or whatever to get cases from the top rack. And it was my first day, so I didn't have a locker yet, so I was like, oh, I gotta take it home with me. And it looked like a walking stick. And they were like, put that on the ground, put everything. And I was like, dropped it on the ground, put my hands up, and then they had me turn around slowly, and I did. I was like, all right, this is where it is. You know, hopefully I'll make it out of this one. And then once I turned around, they holstered their weapons, and then they just started asking me, what are you doing here? Where are you going? Why are you here? What are you doing here? Where are you going? Are you on probation or parole? Have you ever been arrested? Like over and over and over. They put me in the back seat. They like took my socks, my shoes off. They searched everything. And I was being polite. I was like, I'm just going to work. I was like, it's my first day of work, you know. And it wasn't the last time that I got stopped just to be like, hey, where you going? You know, what are you doing here? You on probation or parole? And like, no reason to pull me. They don't even give you a reason. And people always ask me, oh, well, why don't you don't have to answer. You don't have to do this. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you do, you know, because they want you to slip up, you know, or just to act suspicious or whatever.
If I get pulled over now, I still get real nervous, but the difference is it doesn't cross my mind that I'm gonna be shot or like harmed really. I mean, I have some thoughts of like, man, these crooked cops are gonna plant something in the car. It's like all just from movies and stuff.
Yeah.
My main concern when I get pulled over is financial. I'm just like, oh man, how much is it gonna cost me? Was I speeding? Are my tags back?
Especially in LA, man, they don't mess around.
Yeah, but it's like to me, I do get like, even if I just pass the cop, I'm like, my mind starts being like, is everything good? Like, taillights, tags, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like, and if I get pulled over, I'm like, I do get nervous. But it's just such a different experience because like, my reasons for being nervous are ultimately very minor. And it's just like, how much is this gonna cost me? What a hassle this is. It's a lot of like privilege problems to have and be like, oh, like, officer, what are we doing here?
I would just say like this whole like tradition of like the whole code of silence and you know, you gotta have each other's back. Like at the end of the day, like if you know someone's, you know, just not a good cop and not, you know, like they're not doing good police work, speak up and get them out of there. And then once y'all start standing up for the good cops, then we'll start to trust you a little bit more. And also too, like, take time to learn about the community that you're policing. Like if you're afraid of, you know, black folks or Latinos, or then maybe don't be a cop in LA, in South Central LA or whatever, you know, like go be a cop I don't know where, some other town, but like, you know, deep in the valley or something like that. Like, and just take time to learn about your community, learn about what people are going through and stuff, and maybe why we don't trust y'all.
You think fear about what you just said, like the code is like a big part of the trust issue, where it's like, yeah, like you 5 guys may all be great cops, but do we trust that, like, if you know the 6th cop is dirty, like, which is more important to you, like honoring the brotherhood and the code and stuff, or doing what's right? And I feel like that trust has been broken a lot during a lot of like what we've seen in the last few years. For those of us who have had a more privileged experience with this, like the biggest thing that you got to get out of your head is that thing I mentioned earlier, where it's like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. And it just, that is not true for an insanely large number of people. And to not acknowledge that and to not be constantly mindful of that does a disservice to this entire topic. So that's, if I could stress that to other people who have had similar experiences to me, is understand that, like, yeah, like when I get pulled over, I don't feel like, you know, anybody's gonna shoot me. It's like, great, that's you. Don't discount other people's experiences, because they are very, very real.
If a friend is complaining about something, and maybe you had not gone through the same experience with the police, like, you know, you and I had different experiences, then don't just automatically assume, like, no. Don't just slough them off. Maybe listen, you know, and hear them out,